Okay, so I have a question for you. Is it easier to quit the bad habits or is it easier to start a good habit? I think for me, this is easier. It is easier to start, no, to quit a bad habit. I think it's easier to quit bad habits than to start making new ones. I guess you could also replace bad habits with good ones. I think that's easier. I think that's the best way to do it. Anyway, this whole thought process started because I made a video about what kind of man I want to be. And I started to think about it, right? Okay, what are the qualities that I want to have? Because certain qualities that I thought I had, I don't. I thought I was loyal, I'm not. Yet. I thought I was responsible, I am not. Yet. If you want to know what happened, I made the video, what kind of man I want to be. I explained in the first like 2 minutes, so if you want to watch that, it's fine. Back to the original topic. So I started thinking about, okay, quitting bad habits is easier for me. So what are actually some bad habits that I struggled with, that I'm dealing with right now, but also in the past, that I need to eliminate in order to improve and go to this vision that I have of myself? First one, the one I struggled most with, I guess, mouth breathing. You know, people always told me, "Oh, you breathe so loud," or "Stop breathing through your mouth." I was always this mouth breather kid, and that's because my nose they were always like plugged, because I was allergic to like dust and stuff, or not dust, but little bacteria. They have feces, and I'm allergic to those, and those bacteria are everywhere. So I'm always kind of, what's it called, overstimulated or something. And then my nose starts like getting all itchy and it's always swollen and stuff. So I couldn't breathe through my nose when I was younger. It was always stuck. My sinuses were always full, bro. Yeah, I'm editing the video, and I wanted to say that the stuff he knows, but I eventually not overcame, but I had medication that helped me a lot. I took a bit of the stuff that I was allergic to. There was medication for it, and it was a very long-term plan. I needed to take like a pill every single day for like 4 years. And now it's very easy, but it didn't really help. But I noticed when I took cold showers and went to the gym, I felt like my immune system, I got stronger. I felt stronger. I felt like my immune system got better too. I ate healthy, and at some point my nose started to be free. I learned to breathe through my nose because it didn't used to be free at all. It would just be blocked the whole time. But now it's just free for whatever. And I noticed that when I sleep late and I'm inconsistent with sleeping, my nose actually gets worse. So my nose gets blocked and stuff. I just wanted to add that real quick. I just kept breathing through my mouth. And at some point I learned, there was this Hamza Ahmed, he made this video about looks maxing. And he kept telling us, right, oh wow, mouth breathing is so bad, because mouth breathing literally worsens your teeth. It changes your face shape and jawline, and you could combat that with mewing and stuff, like putting your tongue on the roof of your mouth. It changes your face structure. I don't know if it worked, but I did those things, and I feel like it kind of worked. I'll show you the picture of the mouth breathing stuff. It's insane. Second thing that I changed, that a bad habit that I needed to get rid of, is eating sweets. I was eating a lot of sweets, and it's not even about getting fat or anything, because I used to like play football every like 5 times a week, so I didn't really gain weight or anything by eating sweets. But it's more the the peak and the crash of eating sweets. Bro, it's sweets, chocolate, candy, chips, all those stuff, like ultra processed foods. I eat those. I like, for example, I ate, what did I eat? It's like cheesecake. Like, bro, it's so delicious. I ate a lot, bro. At some point, I was saturated. I was like very full, and I was like very. That was the peak of like the dopamine, the serotonin, the whatever. Right, it's the peak of like the emotions or hormones, whatever hormones. I was very happy and excited, and bro, the crash was so real. I genuinely sat like this on the couch. It's like this. Bro, I wasn't able to function anymore. The sugar rush was insane, and then the crash was even crazier. So I'll be like this on my phone because I wasn't even like, I didn't want to stand up. I couldn't bring myself to scrolling on my phone. It's like, oh yeah. Oh. So stupid. And the question really is, why wouldn't I replace sweets, candy, chocolate with fruits? I love fruit, bro. Like the strawberries, just the berries, apples, oranges, bananas, lychee, mango, pineapple. Bro, it's delicious, bro. Delicious. Why wouldn't I eat those instead of like the candy? Well, another big one, which I think everyone deals with these days, is procrastination. Putting off stuff. Doing it until the last moment. Instead of learning for a test, an exam prior. Like a healthy amount before the exam. That never happens. And people like make content about that. I'm not going to too deep on what to do with those things, because I think there are people better at that, explaining those things. I'm just explaining what I went through, kind of procrastination wise. But I always used to delay stuff until the last moment. I feel like that's normalized these days, but it's not really normal because it's puts you on very high stress. People normalize it, but it's not normal. It's not normal to study a few days before a test, even though everybody does it. Maybe it is normal, it is average, but it's better, it's the best. It's for the best if you studied a healthy amount of time prior to the exam. Another thing that I struggled with was, I don't even want to talk about it really, but if we're this deep in the video, I feel like no one's watching anymore, so it's fine. Another thing that I used to struggle with was porn and stuff. Well, I can't believe I said it. I actually said it. But yeah, I used to struggle with that a lot. I remember like realizing what the bad effects was of watching porn, just objectifying women. You're basically a cuck if you're watching porn. You're like watching someone else doing it and you're enjoying it. You're a cuck. That's very bad. And it was out of loneliness. I watched porn and masturbated and stuff. Once I realized that that's very bad, and you could, I deserve more. I should have more respect for myself. I tried to quit, and it didn't go right the first time, or the second time, or the third time, or the fourth time, or the 10th, or the 20th time. I just kept trying and believing in myself that I could overcome this obstacle, this self-imposed obstacle, this addiction. And what really changed for me was when I did No Nut November, like 3 years ago, when I was 16, 17. And I actually managed to get through it. Because I used to just try and not do it, and then a week later I would relapse, or even 3 days, or 2 days, or 1 day. Or 0 days, like the same day. It's like, bro, I'm not doing this again, and then crazy. But it changed for me when I did, and then no, not November, and I actually managed to get through it. And I realized, like, oh, it is actually possible to do this. I can actually do this. Oh, 1 month, another month also seems achievable. Why wouldn't I do that? And so I continued. It's like pushing a very heavy boulder off a ramp, but you first need to like get on top of the ramp. So it takes a lot of effort, but at some point it just starts going on itself, on its own. And I just kept going and I never looked back. And now we're here today, free of the addiction. It's cool, pretty cool, right? Yeah, those are the things that I should stop doing if I want to. What else? What else should I quit? I don't know. I feel like procrastination, reducing that processed sugar, just processed foods in general, mouth breathing. But I don't do the fourth one anymore. I don't do that. Those three were those big bad habits that I needed to get rid of. And then we can start looking at the good habits and implement those. And it takes time, implementing good habits, because you need to get the ball rolling. Just like I explained before with the boulder and the ramp. The same goes for like good habits. The meditation, the gratitude journaling, I'm going to the gym pretty consistently. Going to the gym, eating on time. Did I say diet already? Sleeping on time, I meant. There's a lot of things that I need to do, and a lot of things I can make content on, which is very nice. A lot of things that I can make videos about. I hope you'll be there for the journey, and I'll see you in the next one.